What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapple. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Tunison. The map here is Watering Hole. And it is a best of 3 for the Champions League. Now, unfortunately, there was no observer in this game, which means we do not have access to observer commands. So if you want to see the resources, you want to see the population, it'll be down the left corner for whichever player's perspective we are viewing for this series. So we'll see how things go. But Rapple here, Odin versus Tunison's Oranos. This is probably one of the more interesting matchups in terms of the Odin Oranos here, because I think that Tunison's like anti-Odin is quite strong, but Rapple doesn't play this this matchup quite like most of the other top Odin players do. So it's going to be a much more a battle of a clash of styles here than a regular Odin versus Oranos. So we'll see how it's gonna eventuate and what the strategies are actually going to end up being. As we do see the Odin's 1 tier minus 20% temple upgrade in the resource cost there has been discovered by Rapple. Tunison, on the other hand, still yet to find his relic, but he is scouting around nicely with his oracles, doing the manual scouting. Now, the reason why top Oranos players do this manual scouting is because if you allow the oracle to spread out scout, which technically I think you actually cover more of the map with the spread out scouting than if you manually walk. You just get a whole lot of information you don't really need, such as I see that this is a huge forest here. I see all of the town center. I see a whole bunch more forest. I see a whole bunch of water. So this is why wandering around with the oracle is really important, really fast. And the other thing is, like, if I see this location here, all I need to do is see one gazelle to know that all of this here is gazelle. And then I see the gold mine, and I walk to the next spot, etc., etc., etc. So this is why we see this walking around. You do find a lot more of the map a lot faster than if you weren't to do that. Rapple, on the other hand, here, he's just gone for the one old suck, it seems, at the start of the game. Temple coming up. He's going to be eating this hunt in his main base for quite some time. He's got a beautiful amount of gazelle over on this position that he can protect in with the wall here. We take a look here. It is open on this location, so he's got to be careful to not be too like careless about his villages here, in that it is open. But he also has got hunt in his base, and same too will Tunison have this. Tunison's also got 2 rhino in his base, which is absolutely huge in this matchup. So much so that I'm surprised to see Tunison moving over onto these gazelles super early, because he can stay in his main base, eat these rhino until he gets into a position that he can defend any of the early game aggression that Odin can put onto him. And then what? And then he's ready to defend his second hunt over here, and he can push over that, and it's completely fine. There's also some elephant that's been found in the middle of the map. There's always going to be tons of hunt in the center of the map here that's going to be needed to contest. And it's this map is one of the maps that's really, really strong for Norse for that very, very reason, because Norse is never going to want to farm. And the later Norse farms, the better, because you're going to get straight access to things like irrigation and winter harvest straight away. And basically, you can just move forward. You can eat the elephant and live the dream. Eat the hippo, live the dream, and you get to the mythic gates really fast. And sometimes you can just like click Ragnarok before you even click on farms, which is really, really helpful. So you do see Freya coming through here for Rapple. Tunison on the other side of the map here is going through Prometheus, and there's no surprises here. This is very, very standard openings here. Now, the one thing you're going to be seeing here that is no, it's fairly standard here for Tunison as well. He's got three villages on the food. What I would normally see here, if Tunison was going for like double military academy here, is he doesn't need this much wood right now for double military academy. So he could take this wood villager off and put him over onto food or over onto gold as well if he wants to. As we see we are seeing the counter barracks here for Tunison, so I'm a little bit surprised about that. As Rapple on the other side of the map, sitting in his main base, double longhouse, lots of Ursa, buildings in a nice defensive position to defend here and allow no entrance into his base. Valkyrie and Ulfsar can be searching across the map, looking to get some pressure over here. We do see the Raven spots the mana up on this position as Tunison is happily grabbing food there. The military buildings both up now for Tunison as well as getting himself a Terma. Mermillo at the start. I am surprised to see this. This is not what we're seeing from most Oranos players to start start off in this matchup. It will allow Tunison, it will allow the Rapple here to start making Ulfsarks, make himself Lone Wanderer, and have himself a very, very fun early game here with these Ulfsarks as the Promethean Offspring do manage to sneak through here. We see Valor coming down by Tunison as well, and he used those on the Ulfsark. Not the Ulfsark, they are basically Ulfsark. The anti-Ulfsark units. The Mermillo. Another mana coming up here. I like the mana placement here. Not quite on the forest. Far enough away from the forest there to be fine. As we see Tunison now in a little bit of trouble here. He can very simply just ungarrison those villages here and be fine. We see the units coming through to start putting some pressure onto Rapple as Rapple's going to need to retreat away. Big shockwave coming down there by Tunison. But does he have enough pressure here to actually take out that Valkyrie? Answer is not quite. He does a lot of damage to it, but the Valkyrie is going to be able to get away with its life there. As Rapple on the other hand here now, he is going to be getting himself that Lone Wanderer upgrade. The Promethean Offspring still coming through here. The Hersa does bash that Promethean's head in there with his big, big hammer. His hammer of justice. As the Ulfsark now ready to start pushing out. And the question is now that Rapple has got himself, how many Ulfsark? He's got himself about 10, 11, 12. 12 Ulfsark total. He cuts the Ulfsark here, and he's going to decide to maybe get himself medium infantry or simply just do something completely different here with his build, with his choice of units, or even go to the next age here as another option. He's got these units out, so he's ready to start putting some distraction onto his opponents. So is there really any point in having anything else built at this point is the big question. It's now Rapple searching through here, going to try and take out some villages. As Tunison going to be pulling back here into his main base. He's has to garrison into that sentry tower here. As Tunison now looking for some raids over here. We do see the Hersa and the villagers already out onto this position. One villager does get taken down there, though. Good raid by Tunison. Forest Fire coming in onto this position as the villagers here. Could see Rapple making the effort to take this one out here if he so chooses. But Rapple at this point is just going to move in onto his pigs. He does have this hunt over here. He could also move into... Do we see any tower upgrades coming through for Rapple? No upgrades for Rapple there in terms of the towers. As he's still attempting to get some good damage done onto Tunison. And he has been forced to build a couple more Ulfsark out in this position here as well, as the units do retreat out onto this location here. Tunison can continue to put good pressure over here. Rapple's Ulfsark will be retreating back. Rapple's at 75 pop. Tunison's at 89 population here as well. And we'll see if Rapple is ever going to just say, all right, let's move over onto the Gazelle. I mean, he can just put a wall up over here and make it nice and safe. He's not going for it. Looks like he's going to send the villagers back over here onto this hunt. There's plenty of Ulfsark now out to grab this. Rapple's got plenty of wood in the bank as well. I'm wondering what that's going to be for. Tunison now, more houses coming up. He's on this wood line over here because his forest has been burned. So the forests here for Tunison are really, really bad, actually. Rapple can get some really nice raids here onto this location here. He's going to know that he can continue to hit that. As the Ulfsark do come through over here, they get a lot of damage onto the army of Tunison, onto this raiding force. He takes down the Terma hero as well, or almost takes down the Terma hero there with 5 HP remaining. The rest of the Tunison units are going to come through here to start putting pressure on. Rapple, on the other hand here, he's throwing up an armory here. He's getting himself some throw and axemen through to defend on this location. The Rhino, there's not a whole lot of food left in that Rhino, but we do see the villagers have moved over onto the Gazelle here, as Rapple is going to attempt to shoot up to 800 food as fast as he possibly can. Meanwhile, Tunison, he needs to think, where should he go with his army. He either needs to walk all the way around here and up here to put harassment onto this, or he needs to warn Rapple that his army is here by taking this gate down to put pressure onto this location. So either way, Rapple should be in a position to defend this. As we see some walls coming up over here, the army coming through, we see the Valkyrie, Ulfsark, forces coming in on the back here as well. Will Rapple be able to block this in? He's going to be attempting to get some sort of a ghost build down. He's not quite able to get that one down there. I feel like he probably could have put walls up here in all honesty. As you almost see another longhouse going down to block the Terma in, or the army of Tunison in, but yet again, not quite able to throw that one down. A little bit too greedy with the placement. You can try and get the block off a little bit further away, and that is a lot more safe, a lot more consistent than trying to place it down directly in front of the feet of the units. But not going for it just there. Rapple here still putting pressure on. He's just going to be distracting. Doesn't really want to take a fight here. We are seeing a town center going up in the middle of the map here for Tunison as Rapple turning around, getting a little bit of damage done here. Again, this is basically just distraction action here from Rapple. He should not be looking to take any fights. As soon as he sees the entire army looking to fight this, he can just retreat. He can take his time here. Tunison, on the other hand, here, he needs to be using his army aggressively and simply just say, look, I do not care that you're running around the map here with these Ulfsark. I need to put pressure onto you, take out these walls, put pressure onto this hunt, prevent Skadi from coming through. But Skadi is already clicked up here for Rapple. Rapple sees the town center going up, big shockwave coming through. This will get a couple of Ulfsark kills here, I'm sure. But, I mean, Rapple is not going to care all too much about that. In fact, he is able to just retreat out through those Terma there as well. So it doesn't even lose that many Ulfsarks. A huge win for Rapple there as well, as he's still not losing anything as he pulls back here. Tunison, on the other hand, still not advancing to that next age. I mean, he is getting himself a second, third town center also going up here. And at this point, Tunison needs to think about how he's going to deal with Ragnarok, because Ragnarok is coming for him. He needs to start pushing himself towards a position that's going to be completely fine for him, as he does choose. We see the Rapple choosing to utilize his Frost here on the army immediately here. This is almost a very Rapple thing to do. I've seen him do this multiple times against multiple different civilizations. He just hits the heroic age. He frosts the army and he just says, look, I'm just going to take the advantage here. I'm going to get the damage done onto the frosted units here. And that's going to be that. We see a longhouse coming down here as well in an attempt to block this army in. The town center going to start getting a little bit of damage done onto it as well, as the frost giant going to be coming through here. Walls coming up over on this position as well. As Rapple's at full population. Is he getting himself heavy infantry? He is getting heavy infantry here as well, as these longhouses are kind of up. But, I mean, I feel like Tunison is just going to be able to retreat back through this gap. But maybe Rapple is going to be ready to put a wall down here or something to stop this. Looks like he's not going back that way, so he's going to be losing even more units pulling up to the top side of the map. And now look at Tunison's resources here. Tunison's 106 population, 105 population, 3 town centers, no population in the bank. Heavy infantry is out here for Rapple as Tunison pulls back, and Rapple can start either thinking about getting himself his own second town center, his third town center, a market to go to the mythic age. Plenty of different options here. He can get himself up his hill forts and start making things like Huskal, Jarls, and all the other good stuff that comes with that. Rapple here, I mean, he's on the hunt in the middle of the map here as well. He's got decent upgrades there. And Tunison here, what is the plan here? He's getting his units back out. He's got full Murmillo here, but the medium Murmillo at this point are not really enough by themselves to deal with the heavy Ulfsark of Rapple, especially because Rapple's also got some thrown axemen as well. But the Ulfsark here, where are they going for Rapple? We see him pulling into this location. He's searching around. Is he just going to go for the town center? He might just go for the town center here. 10.8 damage a second with the 44% hack armor. Looks like he's not. He looks like he's going for those villagers who are simply just going to retreat into the manor here, which will mean that Tunison is still getting distracted so hard by these Ulfsark, as the villager does end up getting sniped down there. There's only 5 spaces in that manor, and Tunison does not manage that nicely, as the manor is going to get taken down very, very fast here. But the villagers can simply just retreat into the sentry tower. Not too difficult. We will see one getting sniped down there, though. Good play by Rapple as he picks that one off. Tunison losing 2 citizens there, as the market now up for Rapple. More longhouses coming down here, as Rapple's still taking some trying to get some kills over here as the army for Tunison comes through here to continue to put some pressure on. But Rapple still, he's just going to put distraction here. But now finally, Tunison decides, I'm going to check this gold mine out. For some reason, Rapple here, he's out on this gold mine where he's got a perfectly safe gold mine over here. He's also got a relatively safe gold mine to be on that gold there. As we also see the Raven has spotted the gold on this position as the Ulfsark simply just going to be retreating back away from here. Not really too much of a problem here. We see Balder coming through for Rapple as well. As Tunison here, he's still stuck in this classical age in a very, very difficult position here, ladies and gentlemen. Very difficult. He's got to somehow defend against Balder here. An early Ragnarok with gold mine here and here. He does have some walls up over here to defend this. But how is he going to deal with the Ragnarok? That's the big question. Rapple here, is he getting any trade? No trade. He's going for a third town center. There is no rush in clicking Ragnarok here either. That's the other thing. There's no rush to click Ragnarok. Rapple can continue to run around with these Ulfsark, continue to create pressure here. As Rapple is, simply put, just going to walk straight past that gate. Going to run straight onto this gold mine over here to put pressure onto that. We do see the units pushing through here for Tunison as well. He's going to be looking to hit the villagers here, but there's plenty of Rapple defensive units here with those thrown axemen. As the villagers, they simply just retreat over there. We do see the Ulfsark split up here as well, going after these citizen here as Mermillo gets sniped down. Will Rapple be paying attention on this one? And he is. He's going to attempt to path block that citizen here as best as he possibly can, and he does manage to do so. Meanwhile, Town Center over here does get blocked for the time being, but the heavy throw on Axeman going to start getting some good damage done. We do see the shockwave coming through here to get some good pressure in, but Rapple now, he has access to the Balder here. He can simply just use Ragnarok here if he so chooses. The question is, does he even need to? Is he's about to have a fire giant over here. He's got some more units coming over here to defend this position as well. And Rapple, he says, I don't want to click Ragnarok here. He's going to be hitting those villagers on the elephant at this point as well. As Tunis is now in the Mythic Age, not the Mythic Age, in the Heroic Age now. He's putting Palace down. Does he have a market down somewhere either? No. The big, most important thing for a Oranos player or an Atlantean player against a Balder user is to be in the Mythic Age and to have access to Fanatics. Fanatics are your best option against those Rag heroes. So if Tunison can get there or not is the big question. As Rapple right now is currently all over Tunison. And Tunison gets pushed off the elephant in the middle of the map there. We're still seeing those Ulfsark just simply running around, sniping citizen left, right, and center. Tunison is not managing this well at all as the third town center are about to be up for Rapple. Rapple still hasn't started any sort of trade route here. He could just move up, put a market in the corner at some point, but it does look like Rapple's economy here is a little bit out of sorts as he's got no villagers on wood. These villagers here retreating back home. Some farms are up. Looks like, well, I just don't know where all of Rapple's villages are at this point. Did he lose a ton? He's 27, 4, and 2. He must have a ton idle here at this point. Tunison, on the other hand, farms going up in the main town center here. More citizen getting pushed out as well as we see some more walls coming through onto this position as Tunison is trying to set up here. We do see the Ragnarok get clicked here as well for Rapple. Rapple is now at 235 population here. As the fire giants come through, look at the damage these fire giants do to these units here. They absolutely melt everything here. You do have a palace up on this position. Tunison does not have masons, does not have fortified town centers. Is he getting it? Answer, no. We see a market coming up over here as well. As the villagers running away from this location, he's got to keep all of his citizens alive as best as he possibly can as these Ulfsark are trading. Probably not the best idea to take this trade. Just run away is probably the idea here as Rapple does decide to do that. As all the blue units just completely swarm this location. Rapple here has got no resources in the bank, so this is fairly all in here for Rapple as well here. As one citizen falls, the citizen in this town center going to be attempting to make a break for it. As we'll see if that's going to get back to the home position as the Rag heroes are going to be hitting this gold mine over here. This gold mine is still getting mined as we will be seeing the villagers here getting pushed off of this gold mine as well. There is a manor on this position, but look at the damage these heroes do to the villagers. It's really hard to kind of pay attention to this as well as so much pressure is mounting onto the onto the base of the Oranos players. The Oranos player retreating back through the walls here. We do see the Rag heroes pushing through here as well to try and take out the palace, take everything else out here as well, as the wall getting broken down here. The hero of Ragnarok trying to break through here as the palace will fall very, very fast. We do see Tunison trying to make those archers. Archers are a good option here against the heroes of Ragnarok, because at least that does damage without immediately losing units. As the gold mine has been pushed off, the citizen retreating out of this location here as well. And the main town center of Tunison will be falling here on this location as well. It's the fire giant, frost giant. He's got 3 fire giants here. Everything of Tunison is falling on this position. The villages are being pushed off over here. We do see one citizen over on this location. The Ulfsark has found that one there as well. So Tunison is trying to sneak gold mines here as best as he can, but he's just not able to do so. And in that moment, Tunison does tap out, as there is simply put nothing left that he can do. 81 population, nothing but civilian units basically left over. Handful of units. It's just Ragnarok is so strong. Ragnarok is such a strong god power. I mean, you have to say that, yes, Rapple was winning this game. Rapple was 100% ahead in this game. He was in the Mythic Age miles before Tunison was. But Rapple has every right to be winning this game. But Ragnarok is so strong. What else could Tunison have done here? The frost hits. I mean, here's the thing. Rapple plays this perfectly. Rapple distracts the army of Tunison. Tunison has to kind of follow it in a way. He either has to follow it or just say, I'm going to try and put more pressure onto you than you're putting onto me. And on this map, the real crux of the matter is that for Tunison to put pressure on, he needed to be attacking here, and he needed to be attacking here, and he needed to be kind of having watchtowers up, I guess. If he has watchtowers here and he's able to attack this location and this location to hit the Rhino and the Gazelle here, then Rapple has to think about how he's going to defend that. But Tunison didn't quite work out that he needed to be in both of those locations at once. He didn't have watchtowers up either, which means the Rapple Ulfsark can just walk through his base. I mean, they kind of can just walk through the base anyways with 5.28 speed. You might also need to get crenellations, but he's just not... Tunison in the chat does also say you can just get Kara Ballista and sit in your base here and defend while you're putting pressure on, which is another option. You got to be a little bit careful with your Kara Ballista positioning, but you can do that. But anyways, Rapple shows how it's done in this matchup, and Tunison going to have to go back to the drawing board for game number 2. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.